I know that glyphosate has had a reputation of being one of the safest chemicals for several decades. So I know that it's been widely used in large part because of its great reputation for safety. And now that the science is showing that that may not be such a well-deserved reputation, I think it's important that we take a good look at what we're using so much of so casually and whether it's the right thing to do.
Right back from my own community in Kona, Big Island residents sent me these pictures, and I'll hold them up for you, which was a daytime, what looked like a basic routine spraying along the side of the road. But it also did demonstrate, now someone would have to focus in on this, maybe other people on these slides, kind of a power hose being used along the side of the road. And this is near the center of the population in our powerful metropolis of Kona.
We gave them pretty much the same PowerPoint presentation. They'll come down there once every 3 months. They'll spray. I see the parents see the trucks coming. Come on, kids, get inside. The truck goes by. The kids are right outside. They're right when they're done spraying. They're out right in it. Nothing is marked. So, adults and unsuspecting adults and children, they do walk over these areas within minutes of spraying. I've seen it many times. And in addition, I have no question that drift in these kind of situations have the potential to enter homes.
I think the most outstanding issue right now is the World Health Organization's determination that glyphosate probably causes cancer. And I think that's really significant, and I think that we need to heed that very important finding. I was just looking at the label on a product called, I think it's Honcho, which is a glyphosate product. And so I'm asking myself, is the county really following the label? And I look at the label, and the label says, do not spray in more than 10 miles per hour winds, wet conditions. It is dangerous to humans, domestic animals. That protective gear must be worn at all times, and use a low drift nozzle. And I've seen the county break all that rule over and over again.
We're both here today because it's time for our county to stop using Roundup, period. I heard a lot of people talking about kids, and here's a good example of someone that we're trying to protect, somebody that is part of our future. And we live in Waikauka, and there's a gorgeous new playground that's there, and there's Roundups being sprayed all around that area with kids her age, younger and older, playing in that area. And they don't know that that bright color is danger. They see it as an attraction. So when you see that colored stuff on the side, you know what it is, and you try to get the kids to come away from it, but they see it as something to play with. Everything goes into the mouth. Everything, they want to touch everything. It's all over their hands, and they put it in their mouth, in their eyes, all over their body. So what we're talking about going into the groundwater, yeah, that's a concern, but I'm even more concerned about her getting it directly on her skin.
The alternatives are not more expensive. Ground covers, for example, would end up having less ongoing cost. If we did pass this bill, we would also see a boost in tourism because people would be happy to come to our parks. You could also, as you've heard, use goats, salt water, and steam. There's a worldwide trend to protect people and reduce the exposure of chemicals, particularly glyphosate. Please show leadership and courage and make the simple choice to side with protecting people instead of protecting chemical companies. Thank you very much.
And this is one concerning banning herbicides.
I think we all would like to see no spray on the sides of the road. It's so ugly and it's so toxic. It's just glyphosate here that we're talking about in this case.
Roundup.
So baby steps without naming a brand. And so let's wholeheartedly vote for this, pass it, and carry it through to the state.
All in favor? Raise your hand. And all opposed? The resolution passes. Call for a recess. Thank you for your help, Deborah.
Roundup, I almost died from pesticides and Roundup. It's killing people. You think you're saving money? You're creating medical bills for generations.
I have talked to the county roads department about this. I believe that if they stop buying Roundup altogether, then they would have enough money to pay for even another employee to take care of the weeds. And all they have to do is mow them or weed them. I do that in my garden. It's easy and it's non-toxic.
I think it's clear that using Roundup is less costly, and I'm not going to dispute that. I do think the difference, let me just say, in this bill is that I put it as going into effect in July 1, 2019. You know, I would even be open July 1, 2020. The word I want to say is deadline. If you don't have a deadline and you could do things, it goes on, okay?
So I got really sick, and I've been sick for 5 years. And before I sprayed Ranger Pro, before I touched any pesticides, I had flawless skin, no problems, no health problems, didn't even have health care. So this is something that has definitely changed my life. It didn't happen right away, and that's what I think that people really get it confused, is it didn't happen right away. It happened gradually, and it snuck up on me where I couldn't figure out what was going on, what happened to my skin, why am I getting these rashes. I ended up at a local clinic, and this lady couldn't figure it out either. She sent me to a dermatologist, and the dermatologist gave me a biopsy and sent it out and realized that I had not only one little cancer, but some other kind of cancers in this little spot that they found. So the test went on, and it found out that, yeah, I did have cutaneous T-cell lymphoma, which is basically skin cancer, but it's not like your grandma's skin cancer where she gets on the nose and I get it burnt off and it's all cool, or I get it cut out and it's all cool. It's not like that. My cancer is everywhere. As you can see, it's on my hands everywhere. It's been worse. I've had it everywhere, but I've been through radiation, I've been through chemo, I've been through pills, I've been through all kind of treatments, and they still can't figure out what to do with this cancer. I have one of the rarest cancers that they've seen, so they don't see this a lot. They see a little bit here, a little bit there, and they're able to deal with it. But after all of the cancer and everything, and after what happened, you know, with me being an applicator, I had to spray and do the job, and I couldn't do the job anymore. I refused to spray after the second time. I told them I'm not spraying anymore. So I was getting sicker anyway and couldn't work much anyway, so I had to leave that job. I ended up getting fired from that job because of just not being able to come. So it just got worse and worse for me. So I ended up looking for help any way I could. So that's how I ended up on the internet, just searching around, trying to find out what I could about lymphoma. And that's when I ran into a lot of information that was already on the internet that I had no idea was there, because I had no reason to look up pesticides or anything. But there was people that have been dealing with glyphosate and cancer and whatever for years. People have been settled out before in different countries and different cities in silence. So when I found the Miller firm doing all those searches and whatever else, they took my case on and told me, we'll take your case if you want us to, and we'll represent you from here on out. And that's what they did until we went to court and won against Monsanto and found out a lot of information that Monsanto was hiding, emails and everything, and stuff that really shows that this company has a bottom line of making money and not worrying about what their product is doing.
With everything that's coming out, as we know, agricultural companies hide stuff, and now some of that's coming out. So, and with cases like these and the other ones that were decided against Bayer, they've lost 40% of their value, and we have to take this issue much more seriously than just a few months ago.
When people ask us, what do I spray instead of Roundup? There is no one for one. I'm going to tell you, nothing is going to kill everything in its path as cheap as Roundup. Nope. But you know what? It's also too good to be true. Like, something that's that cheap and that deadly and that easy for you comes with a price, you know? So in order for us to figure out how to get away from Roundup and all this other stuff that for me is in the same boat as Roundup, we have to really change the way that we think about our jobs. Monsanto and these chemical companies did a really good job of robbing us of all of our creative problem-solving skills and saying, here's this cheap thing that you don't have to use your brain. It will kill everything in its path, including people. So in order for us to get off of that, we have to get our creative problem-solving hats back on.